Yahoo Finance recently released some data about savings rates and other wealth statistics in America. Where do you stand? I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Comparing yourself to others will rob you of your joy, especially financially. And the curiosity is there. Wealth is a secret. No one knows the intricacies of your financial situation. And yet, we know that to be true. And yet, the tendency is to observe others' financial situations, their habits, where they live, what cars they drive, the things that they do, and try to compare with others. That's where the phrase keeping up with the Joneses comes in, and that can be so dangerous because you then live out something that's not consistent with your own financial situation. You can get in a lot of trouble. In fact, legendary investor Charlie Munger, the late Charlie Munger, business partner to Warren Buffett, famously said, "The world is not driven by greed, it's driven by envy," which I remember seeing that quote once and I thought, I can't prove him wrong. That's pretty incredible. And envy is when you look at someone else and say, oh, that should have been mine. I wish I had that. Don't do that financially. It can really, really rob you of your joy and cause you to make a lot of financial mistakes. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself. Compare yourself today financially to who you were yesterday, and compare yourself today financially to where you want to go. That's a healthy comparison. That's a comparison that helps hold you accountable and make sure that you're making progress and doing what you need to do to achieve your financial goals. And yet, working with your certified financial planner, they'll help you with that. They'll help keep track of this is your net worth. This is what your net worth was when we first started working together. This is what it was a couple years ago. This is where it was last year. This is what it is now. See, you're making progress, and here are the goals you're trying to achieve. You're right on track for those goals, or you're a touch behind if you make these changes. Working with a certified financial planner, doing comprehensive financial planning, it won't be a secret. You'll know. And yet, when you're not working with a CFP, these sorts of statistics can be helpful. Like they can sort of nudge you and, okay, well, where do I stand compared to the average person in what I have in the bank or how much I have saved up for retirement, what my net worth is, and maybe it can give you a nudge. Yeah, I think I'm doing okay, or you know what, I'm a little behind. I need to get in gear. Saw this article from Yahoo Finance recently with some compiled data from different sources, Federal Reserve and so on, and I thought it was helpful. There were four categories. I'm going to link the article below so you can go check it out yourself. But there were four categories I thought were interesting and potentially could be a little helpful for those of you not already doing comprehensive financial planning. The first is transaction account balance by age. Now, transaction account, they're actually including here not just checking account. I thought it was just checking account, but checking account, savings accounts, as well as money markets. Okay, so by age. So there's a difference. Every time I've done these sorts of, I've reviewed these sorts of statistics with folks before and on the show, it's, median and average, those can mean very, very different things, lead to very, very different numbers. So I'm going to show both right there, but by age, younger than age 35, the median account balance, all of those aggregated together. So how much do people have in the bank, not retirement savings, but in the bank? About $5,000. That's the median. The average is around 20 grand. And you can see how that grows over time. So where do you stand? And particularly what stood out to me were those folks right before retirement, around $72,000 on average. To me, that is a checking account that has the right sort of float, so you're not at risk of overdrafting. I'm going to say that's a fully funded emergency fund, as well as operating off of a 3 bank account system where you've got delayed spending as well, where you're setting money aside for known upcoming expenses. I would assume having an average of around $72,000 or $100,000 for those in retirement around 65 and older. It seems like you've got that system working. I hope so. That 3 bank account system of all of the principles, of all of the things, different investment strategies, selling businesses, of all the things that our certified financial planners have helped people with. What's the one thing that's made the biggest impact? It's implementing that 3 bank account system. Also in the article, information about savings rates. How much are people saving? Now, The personal savings rate, that includes not only saving into the bank, but also saving for retirement. So it's a little different than that transaction account balance we just reviewed. So the average personal savings rate right now is very low, 4.4%. That's very low. And what does that mean from a dollar amount perspective? Well, that's broken down by age as well. Gen Z, on average, is saving about $6,000 a year. Millennials, saving around $12,000 a year, so twice that amount. Gen X, so those pre-retirees, saving about $7,000, and then no surprise here with baby boomers. I would expect, I mean, they're in distribution, they're in spending mode. There's likely not a lot of savings, and yeah, this number reflects that, around $3,400 saved. So again, where do you stack up? With these numbers? Sure, hopefully you feel like, yeah, no, I'm above that, or I'm right where I need to be. Hopefully you're working with your CFP and you know exactly how much you need to be saving in order to reach your goals, and you are on track for that. And the next one's the most common. This is the data point that most people are curious about. How much does the average person have saved up for retirement? And of course, breaking that down by age or generation is going to be the most helpful, because someone that is right on the cusp of retirement should have a lot more saved up than someone that's just starting their career. That's just obvious. So taking a look here, the average retirement savings, if for someone early in their career, so less than 35, the average is just under $50,000. The median's about 18,000. From age 34 to 44, the average is 140. The median's 45,000. 45 to 54 is just over 300,000. 55 to 64, so just right on the cusp of retirement, is just over $500,000, where most people believe they need about $1 million, 1.1, 1.2 million. That number has been changing a little bit. Most people think they need around 1.1, around that, and the average person has around $500,000. That's that retirement savings gap. And then those right at the early stages of retirement, 65 to 74, just over 600,000 saved up. Recently did a video about, well, what's the biggest question you have about retirement planning? My guess is that the biggest question is, will I have enough saved up so that I can retire and stay retired? So it has to do with how much do I need to have saved up? Whatever the number is, wherever you stand right now compared to this chart right here, how do you stack up? Are you average? Are you below average? Are you above average? This depends on your unique 5 factors of retirement. I've seen people, you might look and say, well, folks right on the eve of retirement on average have around 500,000. They feel they need 1.1. There's no hope. There is. I've never seen a financial plan that we weren't able to build out a 5-factor retirement plan that worked. It's going to require some sacrifice, but every single time we've been able to find a plan. In fact, I've seen a lot of people be able to retire successfully with $500,000 saved up, or even less. Depends on your 5 factors. So however you stack up, however you compare to these data points right here, work with your certified financial planner, find out for yourself, build your own confident 5-factor retirement plan, and make sure that you're on track. And then the last interesting data point that I saw in this article, these list of statistics, was the average net worth by age. And I thought the difference between average and median really underscores the median of throwing, the lowest and the highest and next lowest and next highest, really shows a difference compared to the average. The folks that have a significant net worth is really pulling that average higher. But take a look here, and how do you stack up? Folks in their 40s, average net worth is just under $800,000. How do you stack up? In their 50s, 1.4. In their 60s, this again, you should have likely the most you've ever saved up. Hopefully you've got no debt, there's no mortgage on your house and so on. 1.7 is the average net worth. Where do you stack up? And I guess more importantly, I would ask, do you know your net worth? Not as something to brag about or have pride or fear, embarrassment on, but just clarity. Do you know how much do you have in assets, and categorically where? How much do you have in each category? And then how much do you have in debt? And you subtract those liabilities from those assets to get to your net worth. Do you know what that is today? And do you know, comparing that to where you were yesterday or where you were a couple of years ago and where you need to be out there in the future, Do you have that clarity? That's the clarity I want for you. That's the clarity that your certified financial planner can bring. Not only helping you with that 3 bank account system, that you're saving the right amount, that you've got the right amount saved up for your own unique 5-factor retirement plan, and that your net worth reveals you are on track and making progress, comparing yourself to who you were yesterday and comparing yourself to where you're wanting to go financially. You're right on track. Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online. Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com, you can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.